my audio, but it was definitely not working last time. Okay. Okie doke. All right. I'm just praying that it works this time. If you can hear me, please like double tap the screen or like send some hearts or something because I have no idea if you guys can hear me. Apparently, something's wrong with my audio. So if you do hear me, if you hear me, like, send a message or something. If you don't, I'll probably have to restart the live again. Okay. Don't know what's going on, but I'm hoping you guys hear me. Well, sometimes I can't even tell if people are in or out because sometimes it will tell me that people are not there, and then I'll see comments or, you know. But hopefully, if you can hear me, okay. I think maybe you guys can hear me. I gotta like. So, I'm hoping that's the sign. That's the universal sign. Um, yeah. So, hello. Can you hear me? I think there's something wrong with my. I have a 14, iPhone 14, and I'm trying not to change it yet. You know. Okay, so. Uh, okay, thank you. That's all I needed. Yeah, you. Yes, okay. I was so worried about that. Yeah, so I know as a creator, I should probably have a newer phone. But, I really hate the situation in the Congo. And I know that things like phones and new laptops are fueling it. So, hence why I'm trying to kind of stay away from that. I think this works fine, anyways. Anyways, I usually edit, videos and pictures. So, it's going to go through some other software. So, I think the quality is fine. So, anyways. Hope you guys are good. Sorry if you were in my last live. Something happened with the audio, had to turn off and on my phone again and stuff like that. But if you're coming back or if you're new, welcome. Oh, thank you for the love, guys. Oh, I feel the love. Thank you. So, yeah, like I was saying before, I was cut off by my audio in the last slide. Is that I really wanted to talk about the whole Dutty December thing for so long. It's been on my mind. Oh, thank you for the faces, the hearts, the everything. I feel the love. Thank you, thank you. And kindly, if you haven't clicked this quiz or this poll, um, you know, just let me know if you have been to Dutty December. It could have been in Ghana, Nigeria, wherever. So let me know if you have or haven't. Yeah, I'm not looking to refix. I think my phone is relative. I think if you have an issue with the video or phone quality, picture quality that you see on my social media, let me know. But I think it's pretty decent. It's iPhone 14, and if you don't know, whenever you're buying, hello, welcome. When you're buying the new phones and the new laptops, not saying if you need them, don't go get them, but it's a personal thing. When you're constantly getting every update and stuff like that, what happens is that you're making more demand on the minerals that come with these things, and that creates more instability in places like the really cold. Congo is really the place that produces all of it, coltan and all those things like that. I'm good. How are you? Happy holidays. Welcome, guys. Today we have an interesting topic. I've been wanting to talk about it. It's Dutty December. Now, some people don't know what Dutty December is, and that's okay. That's why I'm here. We're gonna bridge the gap. Oh, that's good, Cooper. Welcome. I'm happy you're doing good. I'm happy when people are doing good because the world is kind of rough. But anyways, um, yeah. So Dutty December. I've been hearing a lot of, conflict with it around the town this year, right? And and I'm actually quite happy. I never liked Dutty December. Okay. I did run tours in December simply because of the fact that I knew people would be in Ghana during December because it's the festive season, right? But as a personal choice, as somebody who's been living in Ghana for years now, is that I hate parties life. I'm not a party person. Okay, so the whole partying to 7 a.m. was never my style. Understand? Oh, okay. You were at the cutoff. You were some people from like if it's like Europe, you'll see them arrive really early or leave really late. So I'll see Europeans because they have more vacation time. I don't know how they do it, but you'll see them come as early as like mid late November and see them leave into January. I've even seen people hung around till like early February, and I'm like, I don't even know how you do it. You don't have a remote job. But hi Joyce, welcome. But I'm actually going to be talking a little bit about, first of all, there's multiple Dutty Decembers, okay? So there's one for sure in Ghana, one for sure in Nigeria. They've told me that there's one in South Africa. And I'm like, okay, they got their own piano vibe and stuff like that. But I don't think the Dutty December in South Africa, it feels like it's a whole nother vibe. I feel like the one like in Nigeria and Ghana, you could say they have somewhat similarities. But I feel like the one in South Africa, I don't really feel like people are really going to South Africa to like dutty themselves, like they quote unquote dutty themselves in like Ghana and Nigeria, right? Overall, maybe I might be biased. I think as far as the concept goes, I feel like Ghana is probably the best place for that, but I may be wrong. Okay. And I say this for several reasons. The security in Ghana, that's one thing too. And, because Nigerians, they know how to party, but, you know, I think they have a little bit more so challenges with their infrastructure versus Ghana, which is more stable as far as things like security and actual infrastructural things like light. Okay, but still worth going for sure. But okay, so now that we know where it tends to happen, Ghana, Nigeria, and even South Africa, let's talk about what it initially actually was and what it has really become now. Okay, so let me move this poll up. Okay, so some people. Oh, we have only 12% of people who have been to Dutty December. Okay, yeah, all right, that's okay. I mean, I'm staying in Ghana, and I honestly have not really been to Dutty December in the true sense. All right, so originally it was like a homecoming culture, and you'll see me look down at my notes. Culture, music, reconnection, and joy. The diaspora meeting up with the local populations. I mean, okay, you could say it's like a carnival if you really want to, but yeah. But now it's really become heavily commercialized. Um, Lots of social media performances. A lot of people just showing or saying that they went just to be there because their friends are there. Peer pressure, some of that goes into it. And the ones in earlier days, it was more so like involved the locals. But now the question that you want to really, I'll ask you, and you guys can let me know, is like, who is it really for now? Is it for the locals? Is it for diaspora? Like, who is Dutty December for now? It's really. Ugh. Okay, I don't know how or why this thing kicked me off, but okay. Um, let's see. All right. So yeah, it's really morphed into something completely different, okay? Before, at least in the beginning phases, I felt like, oh, I might go, there's like Afro Nation or whatever. They've changed names. Afro Future, all those types of things. It seemed decent. I was thinking about going. I was like, oh, maybe next year because Another disclaimer as to why I actually never liked Dutty December. I'm from Miami. So if you're from a city that is known for high level, international, world renowned partying 24/7, doesn't matter if it's May or June, February, July, whatever. Like, I don't like partying. I grew up in Miami and I did not want to go to the club. I probably went a handful of times just to say that I did it, just to experience it like my youth. I hate clubbing. I go to sleep at 9. So you can imagine somebody like me, I don't want nothing to do with that. You understand what I'm saying? He said it is just to attract people in the diaspora. I feel like that's what it really is. Hello, Oklahoma people. I feel like, and then you know how I could agree with you that it's just to attract people in the diaspora. The price points. The price points are not for locals. The price points are for diaspora. That's just the real reality of it. Okay. But yeah, like I was saying, like I like Dirty December is never gonna be for somebody like me, like my personality type. I like going to the museum. I want to see culture. I want to do a class. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. And even though I honor or respect people who want to go to the club at 7 a.m. Sometimes you gotta distress yourself. I don't know what you're going through, whatever. Maybe that's just what you need to do for at the moment. But that's why one of the other reasons why I actually never really liked Dirty December. And now when I'm seeing what it really has morphed into, like he's just saying right now, like it's to attract dirty people in the diaspora. And one of the reasons why I feel like that's true is because it seems like a money grab with the prices that are being stated. I just think it's just a lot. I just think it's a lot. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that I also hate. Besides the truth of it being to attract diaspora people, these are things. Okay, another point too is that you have to understand that I've been living in Ghana, so it's not like I'm just like on vacation and just chilling or whatever. No, 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 no. I'm actually trying to work and live like other people. You understand what I'm saying? So, like for example, you'll hear me point to Nigeria's one sometimes, but really, I'm gonna be speaking about Ghana one because that's the one obviously I've been enveloped in. Um, so, okay, so Ghana is not a playground. So Ghana is a real country with real people, not a seasonal theme park. During December, it brings things like traffic, something like let's say I was doing my grocery shopping, right? So I'll be going to the store. It'll take me like 15 minutes on a regular time. During that in December, it could take me like 30, 40 minutes because of the traffic. No jokes. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the government, I think they see this and they're trying to, they built a whole new roundabout, the flower pot. They built an overpass. I see them doing the Cape Coast Road. I see them doing so many different infrastructural projects, which is great. But the truth remains that traffic chaos is a huge problem in December simply because of the amount of people who are on the road at that time period, okay? Overcrowded venues. Okay, so if you, let's say there's one popular place in Accra, it's on the beach. It's called the Polo Beach Club. You just want to go on the, go there to get a drink, kind of get the sea breeze, typical vibe where you wouldn't have to need a reservation during the regular time period. You're going to need a reservation. Plus, they're not saying Polo Beach Club does this exactly, but I know a lot of lounges and other stuff they were saying this is that you will have to pay a gate fee. So, like, they'll tell you to pay 200 CDs just to get in. Then you have to order bottles, or you'll have to, on top of the food, and just to get in, okay? So overcrowded venues to the point where now you're paying a gate fee when you usually don't even pay a gate fee, okay? Hello, welcome. Traffic, overcrowded venues. Okay, short-term price hikes. Okay, you could say supply and demand, right? So obviously, if the supply is low and it's in huge demand, it's going to incur a price increase. What I have been seeing in Ghana, and I heard some of the Nigerians complaining too, is that the price could quadruple. I'm not even joking. The price can quadruple. That's how bad the short term price hikes are. And this is not only like in accommodation. You'll see this in food. You'll see this in all sorts of entertainment. So it's not even like it's nowhere near modest. It's like really obscene how bad the short-term price hikes can be. Okay, heard this is an issue in Ghana. Know this is an issue in Ghana. Heard this is the issue in Nigeria. Okay. Oh, and Nigeria traffic chaos is year round. I heard it's even worse during December. So, anyways, so even with all these things, locals, like people who are like me, who are actually living there, you're still gonna have to go to work. You're still gonna have to go to school. If you need to go to the hospital, you still gotta go there. But now it's with a lot more traffic. It's with a lot more humans. A lot more of everything. Okay, so all right. So it's like it's it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Let's see. Ghanaians in the diaspora make prices go highly, mostly in Accra. Yeah, mostly in Accra. It's usually an Accra issue because the people who are coming in, they're usually going to situate themselves in Accra. They're probably not going to be in the Volta region. You understand what I'm saying? Um, but let's talk about that. I think what kind of makes me like so sick of like the whole Dutty December thing is the level of greed that I see. Like how do you sleep at night? Like how do you know what I'm saying? Like and then a lot of the diaspora because not there's people don't understand diaspora has different there's different diaspora, okay? So just like the Ghanaian diaspora, right? So these are the people, they're actually from Ghana and they've gone out and they live in US, UK, Italy, or whatever it is, right? But then you have the diaspora like me. We're not Ghanaians. Maybe some ancestor was a Ghanaian, perhaps we'll never know because of unfortunately that's how enslavement worked. Being enslaved work, you know what I'm saying? They don't really keep your roots connected, right? So you're the black diaspora. You don't know. You're from the Caribbean like myself or from America or one of those things, South America, Colombia, whatever. You know you're in Africa. You know you're from Ghana in particular, right? So you have diaspora like me, but then you have the actual native from Ghana diaspora as well, right? So um yeah, like why did I just lose my train of thought? So yeah, I mean, you have all these types of people who are there, right? Now, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. You have all these types of people who are there. Now, the Ghanaians who are living in Italy and the US, they might know what prices are more or less, even though they get an upcharge too. But to the American or the Colombian or I don't know, whatever diaspora who don't understand CDs, who don't understand what a typical item or service costs in Ghana, when they hear certain prices, they'll often agree. And there's a variety of reasons why that happens, right? Firstly, Americans in particular, maybe the Caribbeans is a bit the Caribbeans it is different because I like in my it's bartering. But in America there is no European ones, there is no bartering. So the price is the price, right? So they're not used to that culture of bartering, of where the price because I obviously talk to locals, whatever price they give you, half it, and then you battle it out from there. An American, they don't understand that concept, okay? Plus, another thing too is that a lot of times they're translating from CD to dollar and they're thinking that it's cheap, not taking into consideration what cost of living, okay? So, there's so many reasons why the whole pricing and all of that other stuff is going crazy. But definitely, firstly, the ones who do know the business, some, not every business, some businesses who do price, I would say gouging, okay? And then like it could be stuff like braids, it could be stuff like services, food, they partake in price gouging. Then it's the diaspora who also willingly pay these prices, maybe sometimes unknowingly, and then other times knowingly because maybe they're on vacation or they think that that's normal. Okay, so it's a lot of facets that go into it, but I feel like that bubble is gonna pop because it seems like especially this year people were like enough, like so, yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Oh, so let's see the question. Why did you choose to live in Ghana? Oh my God, that is such an essay. I have so many. I have so much points as to why I actually ended up choosing to live in Ghana. I have a few videos I think that talk about that. I think so. I think so. I have to actually go revisit my videos and see if I need to update them. But anyways, pretty much, and if you've been following me, you've heard this story a million times. I knew I did not want to stay in. I wanted to live in a black majority country, you know, and I my main thing as a solo female, because I knew I was going to go in by myself, was that I needed a country with safety. So I Googled like the top five safe African countries because I knew I was going to go to an African country. I did not want to stay in the Caribbean, even though I originate from the Caribbean, even though my personal country is actually destabilized at the moment. Um, but even if I knew I kind of wanted to like leave the Western Hemisphere and go into Africa. And I was like, okay, let me see the top five. And then I went from there. It had to be in the top five because there was no way that they was gonna catch me in a coup d'état. There was no way that they was gonna block the roads and some takeover was gonna happen. Just a few weeks ago, one girl in Benin, some UK girl, she was talking about how they actually did that and she was stuck over there. And this is the stuff that I was thinking about. I was like, I love my black nations, but I have to always be very, very upfront. I know what can go down, okay? And if I'm a woman by myself in a country that I am not from, I need to situate myself the best as possible. So when I started looking, and then this was also tied to one of my international business classes. So my major is international relations, right? So I had to do it for two classes, which was international business and what was it? It wasn't cross cultural management. But anyways, I had to pick a country to do business in. So again, that's where I started with the okay, let me look at safety factor first. And then when I looked at it, if I'm going to be very, very honest, the numbers, especially at that time, because I was in school like 2013, that's when I was in university, right? Because I'm in my 30s. So when I was looking at it, if I tell you the GDP and everything in Ghana was great, I would be lying. But it was still one of the better ones. You understand what I'm saying? It still had the safety factor. I didn't hear anything crazy happening or anything like that. So I said, you know what? As long as I have safety and I like the culture, because I looked at the culture and I was like, oh, I like Kente, I like these things, because trust me, for me, I'm the type of person I love culture so much that if the culture doesn't look appetizing to me, I don't want to mix with it. Hi D, welcome D. And I was like, oh, I like that culture. I could see myself enjoying every day, just kind of like, dealing with these things. So that's actually some of the reasons why I ended up going to Ghana. Because I was like, I don't want to go be packing my load and then I have to run back the next day. God forbid. I can't do that. I don't have any man that I'm gonna be relying on to keep me safe to this. Da, 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 da. I don't have no husband. So number one, how I need a place where they won't snatch my bag if like for no reason, even if I'm in the right place. They won't, God forbid, be sexually assaulting me. They won't. Okay, now they'll shut the government. Those things still really happen. They happen. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want to be caught in the crosshairs. You know what I'm saying? And then having to be evacuated. And then if I have started a business, that means that I'm gonna have to either lose what I have invested or so that's one of the main reasons that I actually ended up in Ghana was the safety factor. Okay, as long as you're not in some crazy place, because I mean crime happens everywhere. As long as for the most part, yeah, nothing much is gonna happen to you as long as you don't, you know what I'm saying. So I hope that answers your question, but yeah. Yeah, well, I will be very honest as far as cost of living in Accra. Cost of living in you need to like have, I feel like, have access to dollars or pounds or something. That's how bad it can it be, unless you really find like local ways to live. I think one of the ways that I saw, which was very evident, was like in food. So, firstly, if you're gonna get like Western foods, like pasta sauces and all that other stuff like that, it's imported, it's really expensive. But like I love making contumery and those different types of things. And it is a fraction of the cost. You understand what I'm saying? And you don't have to live in East Legon or Cantonments. You could live somewhere else different. So, if you learn how to shed some of those Western wants, as I like to say it, then you'll be better off. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and then like me, like I love AC, but sometimes if it's like, during rainy season, I open the window. I just put the little net and I open the window and I chill and I save on electricity. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it's little ways that you can definitely cut down, but it will definitely help. So, and then like for me, I don't party. I don't every weekend. It might seem like that if you look at my social media. It might seem like that, but I promise you, it's not. It's not like that. Okay, so let me see. How safe is Ghana from corrupt? How safe from corruption is Ghana to live in terms of corruption, like politics, food, housing, school? Okay, so wisdom is mine. So I'll be very honest and very forthright about it. Even like in my project, in my international business project, one of the things that we covered was corruption. And when I did do the research for it, it did say that bribing and things like that do happen in Ghana. However, one thing I would say is that there's levels to it, okay? Like, there's other countries where the bribing is obscene. And then there's some other countries where it'll be like, okay, well, if something small or if you have something to share, okay, you can give it. But, like, for example, there's some countries where if you go to their airport, their immigration officers, if you tell them you don't have money, they'll walk with you to an ATM to go and retrieve money to go and give it to them. But usually in Ghana, they'll if they ask for something small, you can just be like, oh, I don't have, and they'll just be like, okay, next time, or something like that. Okay, so I'm not gonna say that bribery or corruption is, I would be sending you astray. Okay, but I would say that at least if this could make sense, it's a little bit more decent than some of their other neighbors. That's how I'll put it for you as far as that goes. Okay. I don't know if that's clear enough or if you want more examples, but that's essentially how it is. There's some countries is obscene. In Ghana, it's not so obscene. So they might ask you for a small gift or to think of them, but usually it's not so. How can I put it? Hardcore. Yeah. So there was one girl, I think, at the airport. One immigration officer, she was hassling people at UK. They recorded her, and I think they sacked her, so or fired her. So denim. You guys have any other questions for me? Those are good questions. Sometimes I feel like I just blab a little bit too much, but if you ever need clarification or whatever, just let me know, okay? Okay. And then like sometimes I'll see the message, so I'll come back to it. So just give me a couple minutes to always flow back. But okay. Oh, wisdom. So Ghana is like hot most of the time. I'm from Miami. It's like Miami weather. It's hot and humid. But they have the dry season, which is kind of dry and dusty. It's like apparently when I googled it, it said it is sands from the Sahara Desert that sweeps over West Africa. Hermatin. Sorry for the pronunciation. And then there's the non dusty or non-dry season, the wet season. It gets really wet and green during that time. But overall, the weather kind of reminds me of Miami because it's like hot and humid for the most part. Okay. Um, how much is a detached house cost? That can range widely. Okay, that it could be extremely varied. That is depending on where you want to be. If you want to be in Accra, out of Accra, what part of Accra. And one thing about, if I'm to be honest about pricing in Ghana, is that it can just be like this, like so it's highly dependent on the individual, where it is. Like I feel like with Americans, they, because they're so used to more of a baseline where, okay, well, if this house is in Downtown Brooklyn, this is how much these houses usually cost in the Dumbo area. That it doesn't really work like that in Ghana, if I'm being very forthright with you. So yeah, but a lot of different things come into play as far as that. Um, yeah. Okay, so let's see. So on my notes, another thing we're talking about for Dutty December is um oh, thank you, Rim. Thank you. I'm happy you're what I love when locals come in and in Ghana and they either we it's always good. I like when locals come in and they point out certain things because their voice really and opinion really matters. Sometimes I worry that um they're not getting enough opinion or voices out there to actually connect with the diaspora. Like it's only certain people, and sometimes I wonder how locals actually really feel about certain things. And so yeah, very much appreciated. So okay. So the other note that I had is the performance of luxury. So with Dutty December, you'll be seeing stuff like bottle wars, table culture, constant flexing. I am not a flex person. Okay. I am like very demure sometimes. I might like a little cute outfit, but that's it. And there's a lot of flex in December. It's the time to flex for a lot of people, and there's a lot of pressure to look rich instead of actually build wealth or create fruitful relationships. um and for me, I think it helps to create unsafe spaces where people, obviously they're feeling pressure to do certain things, reckless spending. Black people, I want to say this worldwide, I don't care if it's black people in America, Caribbean, Africa, whatever, we really need to learn how to build community and not just like do reckless, senseless flexing spending. So yeah. Okay, so let me see. I have some messages. Oh, I was thinking about moving to Ghana. I'm in the US. There's a lot of Americans who are thinking about using, Black Americans in particular, majority, who are looking to move to Ghana. But there's several things that I think that if you are really interested in that you need to sit down and really talk with yourself about, realities before you really make that move. It can be really beneficial. I think Accra is a hot spot for Black excellence and intellectuals right now, despite whatever the situation can be sometimes. But one thing that you want to focus on is longevity. And what's going to get you there is when you sit and really talk to yourself and be like, okay, well, maybe there might be some infrastructure issues, but how can I go around that? How will I be able to work through whatever local issues there may be? How can I improve the situation, et cetera, et cetera? So lots of real honest conversations that you're gonna have with yourself, conversations about your lifestyle and different things like that. So yeah. Yes, double-edged sword. It has been a bit quiet in Ghana this December. Was my sister came and I was trying to take her to the club, and yeah, I think people, first of all, the economy worldwide wide doesn't seem the best, and I think people are kind of a little bit over some of the reckless, non-spending, non just some of I'm talking about performance type of stuff, the extra unnecessary flexing. I think some people are just like a little bit tired of that. The sometimes the price gouging that can happen. I think some people are tired of that performative stuff and unnecessary stuff. So maybe they kind of took a break this year. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. And you can always leave comments and things like that, and I'll definitely try to answer your message. Oh, thank you, Keno. Must be that. Have you tried learning the language? Akan being the most widely spoken outside of English. I'm a Brit currently in Bono region visiting family. So, yes, I have. So, I still haven't registered for my classes. I have been really, really busy, but I have found places to take classes, and I have been following a children's tree show. Because, learning a language is a lot easier when you try to learn it like the way kids do. Like one of my heroes, no, not necessarily heroes, but I like her. Her name is Garcelle Bovis. She's a Haitian woman, my people. And what she did was when she moved to America, she didn't speak any English because we speak French and Haitian Creole on the island of Haiti. And what she did was to learn English when she moved to Boston was she watched Sesame Street, a kids show to learn English. And I was like, I'm gonna watch a kids show in Twi to learn some Twi. So there's this one on TikTok called Eden's House or something like that. I'll double verify the name. But okay, for Happy New Year's or whatever, is it? Let me not embarrass myself. I'm pish. Yeah, I'm pish. I repeated it so many times, but I haven't said it to anybody, and now I want to go and say it online. Aficia pa or something like that. I've been trying. But I'm gonna be more dedicated to it. But yeah, sometimes I can actually catch a couple of things. When I catch it the most when they accidentally speak Tree to me. So like like these girls at this restaurant that I like to go to, they're so cool with me. So sometimes they be saying like little phrases. Like this one girl, I needed to follow her to a table, so she was like Yanko, and I was like, oh, that means let's go. So like that's how I connected. But what I noticed is that everybody wants to speak English and like because they know I'm American and it kind of works to my disadvantage. I feel like if I was in Kumasi or like how you're in Bono region, like I probably would have. Well, I don't know if that's the predominant language up in Bono, but I feel like if I was like in Kumasi or something, I would have spoke Tree already. So, yeah, you definitely need to do. Yes, there it is. He said it, but I can't pronounce it. So. What was the other one that I learned the other day? And I was like, I'm gonna say this um to somebody I have beef with, and it was like impewo, like I don't like you or something. So like I'm gonna be ridiculous once I do learn how to speak tree. Um, so double edged sword. I've been in Ghana like 5 years. So, but it's so bad as far as the tweeting. It's like okay, and then true. Another, I gotta be honest. Another problem is that I don't really go out. Don't let my social media deceive you. Sometimes I go out really to like experience stuff to like share with other people and for clients and stuff like that. But like, okay. So let me say my one beef with my Ghana people that I have right now. I still, after all these years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have not gone to a traditional Ghanaian wedding. You guys have failed me. You guys. So okay, I went to one white wedding, but okay, the white weddings I could go to a white wedding in the West. I want to go to one with Kente because I want to show people how those things are done. But you guys have failed my hand on that one. I still have not gone to a Kente wedding, guys. Anyways, Empes, empesa. I don't like that. Okay, yeah, empesa. Yeah, empesa. If I say empesa, does that mean I don't like you? Because I don't know. I want to tell that to somebody that I'm having a little. I'm at odds with right now. But it's friendly. I promise. It's not like to insult the person. Um. Oh yeah, like you know, I just need somebody to talk to in Tree. I just need somebody like on a day to day. Maybe it should be like an older lady, or like who doesn't really speak English much, or a kid. Well, the kids will probably laugh at me, but something like that. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, I think they would get excited if I tried to speak Tree with them, but I don't know. I haven't honestly tried too much with them, but I actually like it when they accidentally slip into Tree. They probably getting too used to me because sometimes they do that. I like that. So, welcome. Yeah, so the Tree Chronicles. I don't know, guys. I don't know if this is gonna be the year that I tackle this, but look at them. They're laughing at me already. Your tree. I have an Americanized tree. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, um, okay, so you learned Ewe. Okay, that's an interesting language to learn. I actually learned that Ewe. That's one of the predominant African aspects that is in the Haitian language, which I speak. So I actually wanted to learn it just for that factor. But because when I've traveled around Ghana and I've gone from the south to the north and to the different sides of Ghana, I've gone to a few regions. One of the language or the lingua franca is really Twi. So I was like, okay, well, at least let me try to tackle that and then see where I can go from there. You know. Maybe the Volta people, you know, they seemed quite chill from what I saw. So I actually really like the that place whole. It did really look very clean. So yeah. Anyways, feel free to ask me any questions. So let me go through these other points. So another thing too is that I think, and then somebody said that somebody just mentioned that it's a little bit quiet in December. One of the reasons why too is because a lot of people get into debt after December. Okay, that flex is not cheap. The flex in Accra is really, really expensive. People underestimate it because they're doing CDs to dollars. It's really, really expensive. You understand what I'm saying? So people maybe, but some people they're like, oh, gotta live once. They're swiping the cards. They're doing this stuff, and once they get home, and the reality hits, they're like, oh God, what did I do? Yes, and so maybe people were not like into that this year. So oh, yo, you're an Aussie. That's so cool. Are you like an Aussie, like a Ghanaian Aussie or an Aussie Aussie? That's cool. Yeah. I actually went to an Aussie coffee shop called Surrey Hills not too long ago. Very interesting. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. But yeah, you got to really ask yourself: is it still going to be enjoyment if you're stressed by January, um, after you killed yourself in December? So maybe some people just didn't need that stress this year. So, anyways, what was I gonna say? Cultural disconnect moments. Disrespect dressed as fun. That tends to happen. Loudness, entitlement, ignoring social norms. Some people are doing that, carrying on, very unnecessary. And then again, one of the things, if you look on my page, I talk about is I'm very pro Pan Africanism. I think that we're coming together, the diaspora and the locals, um, in a way that we never were together before, right? So I think it's very imperative that we're careful with how we treat each other. Okay, we don't have to be nasty towards each other. We don't have to, be doing stuff to each other that's so harmful. My bro got in 5K debt because of Dutty December in 2021. It hasn't been back to Ghana in December ever since. Ha! I believe it. I know there's some people that they have similar stories. And not only that one that he's saying, there's some people they got pregnant in Dirty December intentionally, unintentionally. There's this one girl I was actually reading on threads this morning where she said she went to Ghana for 8 days to dirty herself. She dirtied herself so much after an 8 day dirty December. She arrived back in America pregnant. And if they can get pregnant, obviously STDs and all other types of germs, those ones they're going around too. Yeah, September babies are people off of a one night stand. And like I said, it could be intentional or unintentional. On one party, it could have been intentional. Maybe the other party it wasn't. I don't know. But there was people who got pregnant during Dutty December. They went too hard. They went too hard. Yeah, and like I said, if sperm or DNA is being transferred, STDs could be transferred too. There was somebody else who was oh that her husband went, and then when he came back, she got a couple of STDs. This is, people are literally dirtying themselves in these. It's too much. Ah. Financial loss, 5K. 5K. Oh, Jesus. Is that small money? ah. Anyways. Um And so let's see. One issue, like I said, I like to be fair. I like to be fair. Like I said, it could be greed from local businesses. Some of the diaspora or the foreigners, some of them are speaking down to locals. That one too is a no bueno. It's no good. Okay, because like I said, this is such like a because a lot of people. What I notice, um, what do you mean? I think it depends on how you carry yourself. Let us know. Let us know. One thing I noticed is that people are always saying, "Oh, I always wanted to go to Ghana or Nigeria." They're saying that now, but 10 years ago, I did not see that as a norm. And when I looked at the immigration, there was an immigration story, and they were like, "Oh, they were talking about how Ghana's thingy foreigner popula incoming foreign population had got like 1 million from visitors, right?" And then they were saying before the years before, it was like something like 40,000, 50,000 a year, and they were saying that the majority of those people were actually Ghanaians who were in the diaspora, and they were just coming back to visit family. So and I suspect the ones who weren't Ghanaian, they were like the Rastafarian, Black Power type of, those type of people. Okay, if I'm being very honest. Um, but now you have a whole nother type that's coming. You know what I'm saying? The enjoyment type, the types, and all that stuff, right? You see, the purpose obviously is a bit different. So obviously the behavior is going to be a lot different. So that's why some of them you're seeing them not being at all patient, sometimes speaking down to locals and doing all this nonsense because they're not really the reasons are rooted in all the wrong things. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, sometimes you want to come party and do all this stuff. Yeah, but you got to be respectful. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, what they're doing too, is that they can't take the expenditure so much. When they get back to UK or US, they're calling the credit cards and reversing the charges. Now, in the US, um, that can be done, but really that should only really be done is if you did not get the product or service, or if the service was horrible. And that's another challenge too. See, the ping ponging with the locals and all that customer service got to improve in places like Ghana because it can be challenging sometimes. I'm gonna be for real. You understand what I'm saying? So this is I think both sides has to improve quite a bit. You understand what I'm saying? But the stuff like speaking down to locals, that's a no-no. You understand? Or like, reversing charges off of bottles that you drank, that's a no-no. You should have known how much the prices of the bottles were. You should have asked. You understand what I'm saying? So different little things like that. And I think it can go on to create tension. You understand what I'm saying? All these shenanigans. This is probably some of the reasons why Dutty December is, this year it kind of cooled down a little bit because it's too much, you know, giddy giddy just happening all over the place. So a key reminder is that, just because the person is black, like you, does not mean they're automatically culturally aware. And that's a huge area where I think there has to be training as far as the diaspora who are coming. I'm not telling you to rock, a kente and put it over your shoulder or something like that. That's not what I'm telling you. That's not what I'm telling you. You need to I'm not telling you to study and do all that other stuff like I did. I'm not telling you to do that. but you have to have base a base level knowledge of the culture that you're entering. You understand? In order to be respectful. Okay. Maybe some of them, they didn't know that, okay, you're not supposed to be taking stuff with your left hand. This is the undesirable hand in many African countries. Okay. But if they tell you that, you shouldn't be upset. You should be like, okay, then let me not be doing that to people because it's not nice here. Some of them, you'll tell them the correct thing and they'll battle you. They'll bat. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Da, 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 da. But they've told you now. You've come to these people's place. They said that this thing is not normal or it's not seen so polite. So just try small. You understand? But some people, they're headstrong. And then for those type of people, I always suggest just go to Tulum. Go to Tulum. Finish with the thing. You understand? Some places it's not. I don't know. But anyways, like I said, I see so many, you know, yeah. So no, I did not move to Ghana as an international student. I moved to Ghana as a grown woman. So I actually, one of the things too, I told you I was studying international business and international relations, and Ghana was the place that I picked to do as my business project. But I actually tried to go get my graduate degree at the University of Ghana, and but this was, again, this was years ago. So when I tried to do it at the time, they did not have so much information online. But because I couldn't do that study abroad. Through the school and stuff, they make everything soft. I actually was coming directly as a student on my own. I was going to arrange my housing and everything like that, but I couldn't find information. So that actually is actually what propelled me into South Africa first, because when I went to the University of South Africa's website, I could pay fees online. I could see which classes I needed to take online. Even if, let's say, I had to spend a semester out in my graduate program, I could take the classes online. So then I said, okay, because I was able to actually get the information, I actually ended up going to the University of South Africa. So let's see. Okay. All right. He said, but if you advertise yourself as a party destination, that's not going to happen. I mean, this is the thing. I heard the diaspora director talking about that's why he wants to say December in Ghana. That is a part of the problem. I'll admit it, but I see how he's trying to rebrand it. And I actually think it's actually a smart idea. Because, and honestly, it wasn't that I was living in Ghana, I would not be going to no Dutty December. They would not get people like me because I have zero interest in duttying myself. Zero. I want to go to a movie and I want to go to get tea after. Okay? What is a museum? I want to go to a museum and I want to go have tea after. That's what I want to do. Okay? So yeah, hence why yeah, it couldn't work for somebody like me. So I'm glad they're rebranding it because December in Ghana sounds so much better. Goodness gracious. So, yeah. Okay, so safety. Let's talk about safety, especially for women during Dutty December. So, when you have an overcrowding of people and you have people coming from everywhere, okay? So, you can have people coming from, I don't know, Italy, Zimbabwe. Actually, I met a Zimbabwean in Ghana. You having people, he was so cool. I loved him. You could be having people coming from, I don't know, Uruguay. You're having so many types of personalities, so many different norms, right? So whenever you have a group of people like that, there's more chances for theft. Okay, because it might be a Ghanaian, might not be a Ghanaian, whatever. One year, I remember they said some UK boys had brought gun, I think, to Polo Beach. I know they handled it, but 1 year, that's what I heard. Okay? Harassment, drink spiking risk, things like that. All that stuff comes into play. Yeah, safety can, get a little bit questions. You just have so many people from so many different places just coming into one place and then packing the place. So that kind of heightens that a bit. All right. So, the diaspora identity crisis, I'll talk about that a little bit. Some people come to heal, like some come to escape. Like Some people come to perform, like we were saying before, and you know, now we're having issues where classism is becoming a problem, um, colorism sometimes too, nationality privilege comes into play. All this stuff in December, in this Dutty December, it kind of amplifies these tensions instead of like really resolving the problem. Like when I refer to classism, right? You're gonna see classism a lot because a lot of these prices are geared towards diaspora when you really look at them, and pretty much diaspora can afford them, and then locals cannot. That creates a classism problem. It's gonna create a it's gonna create a classism problem. Okay. Um. All right. Okay. So let's see. So when January rolls around, okay, so after December has finished, everybody has gone back, they've gone back to reality, they're whatever. That's when you start seeing all the empty clubs, all the, people are now facing things like unpaid bills. People are dealing with broken expectations, relationship, whatever wise, you know what I'm saying? The people who are living there, the local and the influencers and all the flexers, they leave. So now there feels like a whole vacuum, and it's I honestly I think it's exhausting. That's my, I think it's exhausting, like pretentious and very exhausting. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's not only talk about like okay the tiring parts of it. Let's talk about what a healthier December can look like, right? Because there's always, whenever there's an issue or a problem, there's always a solution. So, okay, so let's look at what a healthier December could look like. And it doesn't have to be like my grandma December where I like to sleep at 9 o'clock and I like to go to museums. No, but maybe perhaps smaller gatherings, maybe more so cultural exchange, which I like. Not domination of one class or group over another. You know what I'm saying? So cultural exchange, smaller gatherings. Sometimes at these really really big gatherings, it became nonsense. Okay. Anyways, supporting local artists, chef, designers intentionally. Very intentionally. Like, how can we work together to um, create something that is going to last throughout the year or 365, you know what I'm saying? Instead of something that is just going to be hyped up, overpriced, and limited to December, right? Okay, so respecting pace, space, and people, different things like that. So I think a healthier December could look like that. You know what I'm saying? We could be a lot more intentional, a lot more respectful, a lot more thoughtful of each other. You know what I'm saying? But also, too, I would say that on the local hand is that they have to kind of get a grasp or a baseline as far as pricing so that it extends into something that's going to be it's going to be something that creates longevity, right? Because one of the arguments that I heard from even Ghanaians who are like Europe or US based was that they actually would rather prefer to pay a package to go to like Spain or something that was decently priced, simply because it just made more sense as far as price point and what they got in it. Whereas in Ghana, the pricing was so out of control that they couldn't even really go home and enjoy there. So those types of things, they have to be, because we don't want to be, especially as Black people, we don't want to be so short term. We want to have things that last. We want to have things that last, and things that are going to be beneficial for us in the long run. So in order to do that, we're really gonna, the diaspora looking to behavior. Not everybody, some people looking into more, intentional things, a lot more respect, and all those different things like that. Preventing things like classism, but I think the locals or the government people could also try to take a handle on things like price gouging, and that way, I think that ultimately that would lead to um, more longevity as far as that goes. Okay. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think as far as that. But that's my whole perspective on it. Because right now it feels toxic. It feels really, really toxic. That's why I never wanted no parts. I felt like it was like Miami on steroids. So, anyways, all right. Let's see. Oh, I have. Oh my god. Okay, all right. I was missing messages. I didn't scroll down. Okay, yay. Okay, I'm glad you guys agree. All right, so it's my one of my last points, which is it's okay to opt out. I, I've opted out every year. I've not joined them any year. So yeah. Happy December from my Germany people. Nice to meet you. That's another group that's big. Ghanaian German Ghanaians. Miami on seriously, it's like Miami on steroids. I feel like in Miami, even though Miami can be overpriced, like I feel like Ghana is like a whole nother level. Okay, so yeah, so it's okay to opt out. I have not studied myself. I mean, by byproduct of me being in Ghana, I'm in there in December, but I have not joined the shenanigans, and I don't think they're gonna get me. Rest is valid. You can rest. It's okay. You can rest. Rest. Quiet joy is valid. You do not have to go on social media and show you bought a section. You know, it's okay. Just enjoy what you're. It's okay. Nobody will, you know. Um, Not everyone wants shenanigans, all nighters and chaos. I am not a happy person if I am up past a certain time. And I've always been like that. You can say, oh, because you're in your 30s now. I've always been like that. All right. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for not participating. If you don't want to go dirty yourself, you don't have to. And I like the ring of December in Ghana much better. Much better. Yeah. So I hate Dirty December. I'm owning up to it. So I did not attend any Dirty December events. So you know, to be honest with you guys, usually I be seeing stuff like pop off at like 2 a.m. stuff. I'm not even staying till 2 a.m. Like I'll be going there at like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the latest. I want to leave by 12. Like I would remember seeing everybody at the club until like 7 a.m. Those videos, I have not done that once. Not in Ghana, not in Miami. I'll miss out. Yeah, I've never been about that life, and I'm not interested in turning into that. Like, let me tell you guys, like, how it is like to be in Miami. Like, I used to work in an area called South Beach, which is where the beaches and all the parties are. And I remember going to work at like 7 a.m. and seeing people like passed out on the sidewalk because they were so drunk, like sleeping halfway in their own vomit. I don't want that for Ghana. I never liked that to begin with. You get me? All right. Anyways, so I mean, in your opinion, what do you think? Has December in Ghana changed for better or for worse? In my opinion, I never liked it, but I think it's gotten worse. But you guys can let me know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. People, when people get drunk or they just want to like, I grew up around that. That's what I'm telling you from Miami. Miami has been a party city since forever. Before it used to be a cocaine city, and then it was like a party city after they finished using the cocaine money to build the city. So, so no, there's nothing that I'm going to see in Dirty December that I really, haven't seen with my own two eyes in Miami. You know what I'm saying? So imagine somebody like me. Do you think I care? so so yeah, like I don't like that in Miami. I don't want to see it in Ghana. Um yeah, so okay. What do you think Bloody December gives and what do you think it takes away? For me, I think it takes away a lot of the comforts I get as a local. Oh, sorry. And things like that. Yeah. I honestly don't judge you if you like to duddy yourself in December. But like I said, I just have never been a fan of it, and now I feel like it has gotten to the point where the bubble is popping. So that's my own. All right, guys. Do you have any other comments? I had that was it from my notes today, but yeah. I sometimes I feel guilty that I never participated in Dutty December, but I don't think I just gotta face the fact that it's not good for my personality type, and I should probably stick to my museums. So, hmm. So I think I want to an upcoming video. I'm gonna be doing more of these sit and talk videos. I also would like some feedback from my recent video, in a Brie. I'd really appreciate it. Like one person said that the camera was shaky. Yeah, I do, and it was because I was just learning how to manage the camera. Um, but I think I'm actually gonna be training myself more on how to use that camera. But in the meantime, I'll be doing more sit videos. I think one of the videos I'm gonna be coming up with soon is my video on how Ghana can be hard sometimes. And I do this with all the good intention. It's not to show like to discourage anybody, but kind of to talk about some of the challenges that you might face. So that way you can kind of know them and be prepared for them. Okay. And then that way you better navigate them. Because if you don't know stuff, if people tell you everything's all good and gravy, you are not going to be able to navigate accordingly. Okay. But if you can kind of know something and anticipate it, you can start to think about how can I go around this better. So yeah. So, I visit the US quite often. Um, I remember in the beginning, I actually purposely made it so that I did not leave Ghana for a year. I was like, nope, don't you dare, don't leave here. You, I did that was because I felt like you only really get the full gist of a country if you have no escape plan, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just make sure I sit out here, and if there's any frustrations, I gotta like accumulate and not go around it and see. If you only take the sweet part and you're just there when there's enjoyment or 2 months, that you didn't see anything yet. You didn't see anything yet. So I remember I actually purposely made myself sit in Ghana without leaving it for at least a year. I missed my mom that year. But I think what I've realized too is that I've been in Ghana quite a bit now, that I can actually go and come and stuff like that. So yeah, my mom got really sick this year, unfortunately. So she had surgery and I had to come and care for her, and you know different things like that. So that has made me realize that, especially as my parents are aging and stuff like that, that I need to dedicate at least a few months a year to being in America. That's just the reality of it, so that I can kind of take the load off my mom a little bit. Um, Also, do some things that I have to do in America and different things like that. So, all right. So, the residency thing, I actually ended up getting citizenship. I was a part of the 524 people to get citizenship. I actually was really struggling with residency a lot. I had been trying to get residency for like 2 3 years. Trying to get permanent residency, almost got defrauded. Somebody told me to pay, and this was like years ago, so you can imagine how much this was. Somebody told me that I was going to pay 4,000 US dollars to get, like a resident. It was, yeah, and for citizenship, I ended up paying like 300 US dollars. So like, I went through a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. I went through a lot before. I ended up, getting help from people in the government and things like that. Eventually, when they caught on to my story and what was happening to me and the challenges that I was having, and it was like, don't worry, we're gonna settle you. Just kind of wait for us. We have to. We're gonna have a ceremony and your everything will be settled for you. But don't worry, don't you just sit still. We have your information and everything like that. But I struggled. I struggled. Yeah, I almost got defrauded, and it was from a friend. He told me he knew somebody who did it for Americans, and he lo and behold, he had a stack of passports on him, and he was like, "See this girl? She gave it to me today, and she's gonna get it tomorrow." Like they were gonna give me 1 day turnaround. And I was like, that's kind of strange. I'm gonna, what I'm saying? And when they told me $4,000, I was like, what? Because I had read somewhere from some other diaspora that they had paid like about $300. So I was like, this don't sound right. You know what I'm saying? So, and the person who was my friend, like I trusted him. He brought me to this guy, and he had other business friends, business oriented, like business owner friends as well. And I don't know why that caught me. And they were all sitting at the table. And I was like, yeah, it is 4,000. Yeah, like so good. Like they almost from peer pressure, I almost thought that this was the right thing, but I was like, no, not right, not right. I've read a lot as far as that. And congrats on being a citizen. Yeah, but you're Ghanaian descent, right? Wait, you're American? Or wait, that's not my Aussie person. Okay, well, congrats. I usually don't know that many Americans who are out in regions like Bono, so um, that's interesting. I heard they got a lot of things there that can't be transported. Is that true? I saw a video. But yeah, and like people don't understand, like when you have issues with documentation and you're in a foreign country, that can okay, yeah, okay. So that's good. We're still proud of you. We're still proud of you. Okay, that's good. You don't have proper documentation. I don't know if you're the UK, the US, if you're in Colombia, Zimbabwe, or whatever. When people find out, they'll try to take advantage of you. So I had some situations, and I've heard of other diaspora their situation too. Like I know somebody who their landlord just to double the rent on them out of nowhere, even after he's finished paying. And then he was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call you and stuff like that. So like stuff like that was it could happen, Not always, but sometimes it can. So and that can happen anywhere, like I said, people always take advantage of it. So, relieved. Oh wow, 30 years. Wow. Well, I mean, it's never too late. We're happy that you got it either way. You know what I'm saying? We're happy either way. So better late than never. But yeah, and then let me say something about the whole citizenship and stuff like that is that there's a lot of miscommunication from sometimes even amongst diaspora, because from some of the other ones, the Americans who had been in Ghana and stuff like that, they were saying stuff like, and I never believed this, but I kept hearing stuff like this, where they're like, oh, once you land in Ghana, you get, right to abode, and you can, stay there. And I was like, nah. And I knew that wasn't true, but like, there's so much stuff that's being said. Like, they gotta have some clarity on that. I actually have a book though, and it was from like a couple of Decembers ago, where the diaspora office in Ghana, there's a diaspora office, okay, dedicated obviously to diaspora. They launched an initiative where it kind of like lay out all of this information. Then I have a few friends in immigration. I was like, "Did you guys know this?" And they was like, "Nah, we didn't know this." So like, it's really interesting. God is going through a lot of changes. So, not everybody knows everything. And yeah, but anyways, that ended up being a huge challenge to me. And I thank God that I finally got through with it, because I can't even tell you how much of a problem it had become for me at one point. So, yeah, great question. Do you guys have any other questions? Hello. And we're so proud of you. Yeah. 30 years, yeah. You waited a bit, but you did it. You did it. So, you know, you have to tell us about your projects. What are you doing on a day to day? I want to see what's going on in your region. You know, I feel like I only passed your region on the way to another region, but I didn't stay in that region. So kindly let us know. Yeah. Thank you for liking the live, guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't, double tap to like the live. And if you have, oh, thank you so much. Rip, you were fun. You asked great questions. So it always helps when you guys ask me questions. Otherwise, I don't know. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I do, honestly, I'm not that frequent with the lives like I should be, but you'll probably see me most active on like shorts. I have like a lot of shorts on here. I do like weekly quizzes in the post, the community post. I like to do what I call as West African Wednesdays. So a quiz, and we, like, because I refer to myself as Pan Africanist, I like to talk about different other cultures in West Africa, but my base is Ghana, so obviously you're going to hear a lot more about that and the whole building project, or really development project, and things like that. So, yeah. Yeah. But I want to see more from your region. I need to know. I need to know what's going on there, because I've been to like Wa and like places like that. But I don't have no idea. Besides, all I heard was yams that were not being transported. Yeah. Okay, so if Ghana was not on the African map, which African country will you live in? Oh, that's so good. Right. Okay. Um, very crazy as far as that. But okay, I probably where would I live? Because there's so much factors that go into it. I like, and I'm gonna tell you guys this, but don't blow my spot. People running there, because part of the appeal for me, this place, is the fact that it's so hush hush. It's like an African gem. It's an African diamond. In fact, this place produces diamonds. Botswana. I like Botswana so much. Don't even ask why. There's this show called Number One Ladies Detective Agency. I'm obsessed. Anyways, go and look it up. It's on YouTube. It's free. Um, let's see. There's a lot happening. So I'm on maternity leave and decided to come to Ghana with my young boys, 3 and 5 months. Ooh, my parents just retired, and I had to some day. We want to see some day to day. I need some ideas. What's happening in that region? I need to know. So that way, when it's time for me to go, I know where to go and what to do. Not just me driving through. Yeah, Botswana. I don't want to listen. I love that place. If I could have a honeymoon, I don't know if I'm going to get married, but if I have a honeymoon, I'll probably want to go to Botswana. It's very cachet. Like, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they had a thing there. The royals love it there. Elizabeth Taylor. All the people love Botswana. There's some very nice, high quality stuff. But again, you don't want to be telling everybody, because then now, they rush it like how they rushed Ghana. So Botswana. What else? Namibia. I like Namibia, even though it's like one of the most emptiest countries. Botswana, Namibia. Listen, this is one that I think people skip over, but I think I would enjoy living in. Zambia. Zambia. I like it. I like it. Um, they don't really have too much giddy giddy. They don't have all that nonsense happening there. Do you hear those people name? Usually don't hear those people name. I actually did some research. They're also matrilineal, like Akans, and they are notated for all the harmony that they have amongst all those tribes. Some countries, the in tribal fighting is too much, but they're cool. So Zambia, but they owe the Chinese a lot of money apparently. So Zambia, Namibia, Botswana. I don't know, guys, but those are the three off the top of my head. Okay, so yeah. Okay, guys, we stop rambling. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I had so much fun with y'all today. Hopefully I will see you guys soon. But thank you, Rin. Thank you, Keno. I hope I'm not, I don't know why I'm so scared I'm not saying that right. Um thank you, Walter. Thank you, the world of Ragus. Thank you to so many of you guys. I think even who have hopped off from earlier. I know the double-edged sword, yes. So many of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys soon. So oh, Bernard. Okay, that's my name actually. That's one of my names. Oh, excuse me. You guys don't say it Bernard in Ghana. I learned that because each time they call my name and I say Bernard, they're like, what? Bernard. Yeah. So, how are you, Benad? So that's how they say that's my name. And so they're like I'm like Bernard. They're like no Benad. That's my last name. All right, okay, guys. So I'm going to bed. But yep, again, hopefully see you guys soon. And it was such a pleasure. Okay, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Good night. Enjoy Bono region for us. Enjoy Accra for us, Rim, and everybody else. Bye, guys.